Hello and welcome to Take Me Through Your Day. On today's episode, we interview a late-night toll booth operator. She's got a new puppy, and you'll hear her throughout the episode. It's cute enough, like sniffing and squeak toys and whatnot. Also, there's a fair bit of censorship. This is why we don't use names and, companies on the show. It's really about learning the details of the job that we present. I never want anyone getting in hot water for the sake of our small little educational program that we do. All of that out of the way. If you or someone you know would like to be on the show, as always, we're on all social media, iTunes and YouTube and all that, at TakeMeTYD. All right, enjoy the show. Do you have like a set schedule, or is it just changes from week to week?
It's like a monthly rotating schedule, actually. So every week is different, but every 30 days are basically the same.
Oh, okay. So you get a little bit of stability, but it can still move around a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
All right.
They have like these long stretches and short stretches.
Explain that a little bit.
So for about 3 weeks, the way it's set up, I'll work 4 days, I'm off 1 day. I work 5 days, I'm off 1 day. Then I work another 5 days. Then I'm off 2 days. I work 3 days, I'm off 2 days.
That was a dog.
I work 3 days and I'm off 2 days again. So it works really well when I'm trying to set up like vacation days, because I can spend like 6 vacation days and get like 2 weeks off almost.
Oh, okay, cool.
But the long stretches are a little rough.
I imagine. What are the different types of shifts you do? Like start time, end time kind of deal?
The one I work is 10:45 p.m. to 7:15 a.m. There's also a 6:45 to 3:15 and a 2:45 to 11:15. And then there's what's called knockouts, which they work every schedule. Like the first 3 schedules I mentioned, people are on all year long. But knockouts will work all shifts, and they basically cover the days off of the other people. So a knockout person will work on the 2 days off that I'm off that week, and then they'll work the 2 days off. Someone else is off. So
are they paid similarly, or is it a different kind of?
They're paid similarly, but at least at my interchange, our boss sets it up so they get more weekends off.
Oh, okay. Well, that's something.
Yeah, it's a little better. It kind of wears on you, though. I actually did that shift for about 3 months, and I wasn't into it.
I imagine it takes a certain type of person.
Another bonus of doing the knockout is they usually just do relief.
Yeah.
So they really only work like 4 hours a day instead of like being in the booth for all 8 hours, because they're just giving people breaks and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So
well, yeah, that's gotta really grab a certain kind of person. So, say on average, let's just pick, just say your schedule right now. When would you wake up?
I usually, at the latest, I'll wake up at 9:30 p.m. I get ready. I go in a little bit early, just because a lot of us kind of have this.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. There's a dog that's running around. Everyone's equated themselves with the sound of the dog now. Or
me and all my coworkers kind of have this unspoken rule that we'll come in a little early so that we can leave a little early.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
Yeah, because we don't have to be in the booth until on the hour, but we'll usually actually like go out and relieve everyone at like 45. So I'll go in at like 10:30 instead and like count the bank, do my paperwork, and get into the booth by 10:45 instead of...
Yeah, and you'll be all situated.
And then I get to leave at 7 a.m. instead of 7:15, and they all get to leave at 11 p.m. instead of 11:15. I don't know why we do it, but...
I mean, if it's working out, why not? Yeah. It's a psychological thing, I think, with a lot of this thing.
Like, we're all there for the same amount of time, but,
Yeah. So when you wake up at 9 or whatever PM. Is that something you set an alarm for, or you just kind of like adjust yourself?
Honestly, I have a bad sleep habits anyway. So, and because I work the night shift, a lot of times, like, I'll have doctor's appointments or something in the morning, so that day I'll have to stay up until noon. But then another day, if I have, like, a social event, I have to go to bed at 7 a.m., and then I'll wake up at, like, 4 p.m. So that's just, like, me personally. I know when I was on other shifts, I didn't have to set an alarm so much.
Okay.
But
yeah, so it's a little erratic.
Yeah, for me at least, but... Again, I've always had sleep issues anyway. That's why I decided midnight, because I was like, well, I can't sleep anyway, so I might as well.
Yeah, whatever works for you. Do you have like a routine when you wake up, or are you just like wake up out the door kind of?
I don't have much of a routine though. I usually don't like shower and stuff until after work because all the cars and the exhaust and everything.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I feel like pretty dirty then, and so I wait until I get home to actually shower and stuff. So that's more where the routine is.
Okay, so what? Well, we'll get to that towards the end then. What do you do food wise? Is there something you prepare while you're there, or is there something that you have to bring with you? Or...
Oh, I always have to bring something with me, but that's just because I work the midnight and I don't get breaks. So, most of the time I try to bring leftovers, or like I'll make a sandwich and like take some yogurt and stuff. But if I didn't have time to do that, or I'm kind of at the end of my long stretch and don't have groceries, I'll usually stop.
Okay.
They have some pretty good, like, I mean, it's like a mini grocery store, so I can basically get like frozen vegetables because I have a microwave in the food.
Nice.
So.
Now I want to backtrack just a little bit. When you said you don't get breaks,
yes.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Is it just like sitting in a chair for 8 hours, or what? Like,
pretty much. It's another thing with my specific interchange on midnights. I'm the only person there.
You're the only person in any of the booths?
Yeah.
That's very strange.
Yeah. I found it strange as well the first time I worked there, but I guess they don't think there's enough traffic to have anybody else there.
And are the other booths just the automatic ones, the paid?
Yeah, they're on Easy Pass.
Easy Pass.
So, because I don't get breaks, I get paid an hour of overtime every night. And
okay, that's all right.
So I think I get around $5,000 extra a year.
Okay. I think I'd pay $5,000 a year to get bathroom breaks, but I mean, that's just me.
Oh, I can go to the bathroom.
So you're just saying no, like, all right, here, take 15?
Yeah,
none of that.
It's none of that, but we have the maintenance workers who basically, like, patrol the highway all night. There's this one guy, he comes by every night, like, 2 or 3 times, and he'll, like, sit in my lane while I can run in real quick and, like, pee, and then come back out, and kind of, like, prevent traffic from going through.
Okay. So
I've gotten very quick at doing it, though.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just glad you have the option, because I immediately got anxiety for you.
Like, I wouldn't get fired if, like, you know, a bunch of cars drove through while I was gone or something. They understand that, like, you have to go to the bathroom, you know, like,
well,
they don't ban me from doing that.
That brings up another question, though. So the cars just roll through when there's no one there?
They could. I mean...
No, I mean, what do they do? More often than not, do they just roll through, or they're like, I gotta wait? They'll wait?
They'll wait. Yeah, I have a sign that I'll put in the window that says, please wait. I'm gone for maybe a minute and a half, and I'll wait. I've gotten pretty good at understanding, like, traffic flows.
Yeah.
So, I'd say about 95% of the time I do run in the bathroom, no car even comes.
Oh, okay.
The off chance that they do, it's usually irregular, and they'll wait. If it's not, it's more of like a 50-50 gamble if I've never met them before.
All right.
So.
Yeah. That's not bad. So let's talk commute time. What from your apartment to where you go, what kind of, or do you change locations often?
This job, when you first get it, you have to cover a lot of distance. Our district is from, so that's like a 75-mile stretch.
Okay.
And if you're what's called a supplemental when you first start, you have to go to any single location that calls you.
Wow.
It's not all you don't always know if you're going there tomorrow or where you're going to be, next week.
Is that just maddening?
A little bit. Every single one of the toll collectors have gone through it though, and once the seniority list comes up, you get placed at an interchange. You don't really have a choice in the matter. You could turn it down and continue going all over the place, but then you'll lose your seniority, which is kind of important in this job for some reason.
I imagine.
Yeah. So it took me a little bit to get to the interchange that I actually liked, and I'm permanent there now.
So, from here to there?
From here to there, it is usually 5 to 6 minutes.
Oh, okay. That's nothing.
No.
Yeah, that's very good.
Although I waited until I got this interchange, and then I moved here because it was so close.
Okay, well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you drive there. They have a parking lot or something?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you listen to anything on the way in? Like music, anything?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a short commute, but...
Yeah, it's really not that long. Sometimes I'll listen to music I have on my phone. Actually, I'll do that a lot because it's connected to my car, and it kind of indicates I definitely have my phone with me, so I'm good to go to work.
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
times where otherwise
Little fail-safes.
I forgot my phone. And being at that job at night is horrifying without having entertainment.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I believe you. I believe you.
So it's nice to have the assurance that I have my phone at least. I might if I have low battery or something, throw on the X.
Just regular, just radio station.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably 6 I cycle through. I'm not crazy about the radio though, so.
Yeah, it's rare that I get anyone talking about the radio, so it makes sense.
I don't know, I try to listen to the classical station, honestly, but it's real staticky in the valley, I guess, which is kind of a shame. I don't know what to do about that.
Yeah, you get that with a lot of the better stations around here, because it's just not...
Yeah.
They don't have that budget, I guess. So when you get... I guess you covered it already. When you get to the job, you count out your money and everything? What are the first actions that you have going on when you get there? You park your car, and then what?
You gotta have here, we call them non-rev cards, which open the doors, and they also, we can use them in the lanes, if I take the turnpike so that I don't have to take the turnpike. But they're also our ID cards, and they open the building. I go into the bank because I'm the only one there. I'm in charge, so I have to count the bank, make sure everything's even from the guy before. Then I have 10 pieces of paperwork that I have to fill out, all my info on. It's rather annoying.
What do you mean info? Just the register?
Name, collector number, date, interchange, money bag numbers, just all that annoying stuff, so that they can follow my paperwork trail.
Oh, okay. In my head, I was just thinking with the card, everything was automated. And
No.
that's we're talking about this state, so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess there's really no camaraderie at work unless you have those, what do you say, maintenance guys coming through?
Well, the maintenance guys I do talk to 3 times a night. And while I'm counting the bank and stuff, the person that's in what they call entry is usually in there, and we'll talk. We'll kind of bullshit there a little bit.
Yeah.
Not swear.
No, you can swear. It's fine. But yeah, that's how much interaction do you really get to have in that 8 hours?
I mean, me personally, not much, because I pretty much see my coworkers for the first 15 minutes and then the last 15 minutes of my job.
Yeah.
The other collectors will usually stand outside of the booth, behind the booth. And at our interchange, it's a little harder because you're 2 away from each other, so they'll kind of scream at each other a bunch. Or they have a radio that they talk on constantly. But me, not so much.
Is that something that you're happy about, or is it just whatever?
I like some of my coworkers, but I don't mind the solitude, honestly. Like, I get a lot of reading and everything else done because I'm not like constantly responding to a coworker who's bored.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I guess that's the whole point of this is like there's a type of job that's for every type of person,
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't even know about certain jobs that exist.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you have that, and you already said you don't have a break, so lunch
Yeah.
is not really anything other than when you choose to eat, I guess.
Pretty much. And like I said, like they let me put a microwave and a toaster oven in my booth.
Oh, okay.
So I'm pretty much set. I accidentally set off the fire alarm once with the toaster oven though, and it is horrifying. It's not like a regular building fire alarm. I got like immediate calls from the fire department because I tried to make toast. God forbid. They thought like one of the booths were just aflame, and they have this fire alarm that's in the building that's like screaming at the top of the lungs and strobe lighting, and it was locked, and nobody ever told me where the key to it was. It took me like half an hour of like running, because I was still getting traffic, running like from my booth to inside, trying to figure it out, getting a car, having to run back until I finally found it about half an hour later with this blaring noise. So that was fun.
So is it key that you found, or
Yeah,
Oh,
it was hidden, like, because it was like 7 feet high. It was hidden on top of the fire alarm. So
okay?
I thought, like, I was like, all right, let me think about my coworkers and where they actually would put the key. That's where it was.
I mean, yeah, someone probably should have told you that.
Yeah, they should have, or they should have put it on the key ring that the shift leader holds every day, which is where I put the key.
Yeah, exactly. So, in the vein of that, do you have any good stories from just working there? Anything that just pops into your head? You don't have to think too hard about it.
Oh God, stories. I mean, I do have a lot of stories, but
Well, we can mix this in with
I
just
really-
customer interactions, pet peeves, anything that just straight up bothers you.
there's a lot of pet peeves.
All right, just spill. Go nuts.
One of them, the way people hand over money and tickets, it's like they'll hide change like anywhere in the bills, so then they try to hand it to you and it just falls all over the ground. It's like, how did you ever expect me to know that the change was like under the bill and between the ticket? And like
Yeah, that's crazy. I wouldn't even.
the way people hand over change, that, or like when you try to give them back their change and they grab your hand, like, oh
Ugh.
yeah. Pet peeves.
I always hate when people gave me hot money, like hot coins.
Oh,
that
yeah.
that used to drive me
They,
nuts.
they like hold them in there, or the people that every summer I get probably like 60% damp money.
Oh, wet money too. Ooh.
I always, in my head, I'm just like, they were at a water park. That's why it's wet. Don't think about it too much, you know?
Yeah. There's no beach here, so it's like it better be a water park.
Yeah. Because I don't want to know what else. But there's a lot of people that like pull their money out of their bras or their shoe, and it's wet.
Oh,
I'm like, come
yeah.
on, man.
Yeah, that's
Or
rough.
they also will always pull up with the ticket in their mouth.
Ticket in their mouth?
Yeah, and it's like, or they'll be holding their money in their hand and they'll sneeze into their hand that they're holding the money, and then try to hand it over, and it's like, that's disgusting.
Oh, people are gross.
Oh God, you have no idea. It's so bad. But yeah, there's a lot of things that like, it's not like I like get mad at them. I used to, and then I was just like, it's not like they know, you know.
Well, okay, so that's some through lines of things that bother you. You have like a specific customer you have in mind, like, I remember that guy, and you know,
Well, like
just an interaction that was like, holy shit, really?
I do. So, did you hear about that $90 million meth drug bust that happened this weekend?
No, I didn't. I was
It
too
was-
hung up on all the school shootings that have been happening every
Yeah.
other day.
It was in North Carolina, actually. They pulled over these truckers and found they had $90 million worth of meth in the fuel tank. They came through my lane this weekend.
Wow. How do you know? Did
I
they
know
show them on the news or the vehicle?
They did show both them and like a slight picture of the vehicle, but I remember them because they didn't have a ticket. They were refusing to pay the lost ticket fare. They were claiming that they come this way like all the time, even though I'd never seen them before. I remember faces pretty well.
Yeah.
And telling me that they've never needed to have a ticket before, which is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, but like they didn't know how much it should be or anything, even though they come this way all the time.
Yeah.
So the one guy was like refusing to pay, and he's like, "No, I'm only paying from where we came from. I'm not paying the full fare." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna have to call a trooper. He might be able to approve it, because that's what I have to do at night if they refuse to pay." And a lot of the times the trooper will actually like approve it, but
I wouldn't have guessed that.
I can't do it myself. It really depends on my interaction with them. Like if they pull up and I tell them like they were nice, they just like didn't have the money and are very confused, they'll be like, "All right, I got this." But if they like flip out on me, I'll tell them that like, yeah, that he like was calling me names and like very aggressive, and they're like, "All right, we got this."
All right, what's the full fare? Like you lose a ticket, what are you paying?
Do you want me to finish my full story first or tell you that?
Tell me that real quick and then we'll go back to the story.
Okay, so the full fare for a normal vehicle, like 2 axles under 5,000 pounds, is currently.
All right, that's the max. That's you lost your ticket and who knows.
If you're a commercial vehicle, it can get substantially higher. Most vehicles are probably like a class 4, so it would be like $108. Class 7 is probably like somewhere in the 200s. Class 9, which is you have to have special permits, that's almost $2,000.
So like oversized loads and stuff?
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense. All right, back to your story.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost done, but these guys were arguing. I mentioned, like, I'm going to have to call a trooper. The one guy continued to argue while the other guy fumbled immediately for his wallet to get out his thing to pay for it.
Yeah, so, I mean, imagine if you have that much meth. It's like, hey, let's just give the lady the money and move on.
And that's when I saw the name on it, too. So I recognized the name first when I saw it in the news. Then I saw pictures of them, and I was like, okay. And they had a purple truck, which it was a purple truck in the picture. So I was like, okay.
All right. Well, then that settles that.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else about them that, like made you remember them? I guess if you said you're really good with faces, I mean, that seems big enough.
For the most part, like, commercial vehicles know what they're doing. So if one pulls up and they don't know what they're doing, like they don't have a ticket, they don't have money, it usually sticks out for like at least a week or so. And it was on the news like less than 48 hours later. So
there you go. All right, so what do you do for leisure? What do you do at home when you're done? When you finally kick off?
Well, I got a puppy, so I've been playing with her a lot.
Yes.
Before that, I really kind of hated it. I was spending like way too much time just watching TV because I didn't know what else to do. Like, especially getting off at, no one wants to hang out at like 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
So. True. Pretty much nothing to do right before or right after I get off work. Sometimes I could maybe hang out with people before work, but it's like, all right, guys, it's 9, I gotta go. Most people don't even want to hang out until like 7 or 8, so.
Yeah. So what do you fill your day with?
Mostly chores, sleep, puppy, and...
Is that the food?
Yes, probably.
All right.
Sorry.
I take a pause right here.
Hello?
Cut this in seamlessly. Come on, dog. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. All right, so you were saying about some of the customers
yes.
that you get through, some of the more interesting ones.
And I get a lot of naked people.
Yeah, naked people. So what's the story with that? Like, is it just naked people, or they have some kind of sexual agenda that's Are these nefarious people coming through nude?
I think it's a mixed bag, honestly. It always starts when it starts to get nice out, and then continues until the fall. And then they disappear for the winter. But like, it's a mixture of there was one weekend where it was a lot of naked people, and I finally asked one of them, like, what's up, and they said there was like some nudist convention that they were attending, and they were like coming back from that. So I was like, all right, that makes sense, because it was like cars full of naked people.
Oh,
like,
okay. This isn't just one individual creep. This is.
I got my first one of the season this weekend, and it was kind of strange because the girl that was driving was dressed normally, like looked normal, but she just had this naked guy in her passenger seat that was just sitting there like covering his junk with his hands and was completely naked. Otherwise,
he just wants to bite me. Those are sharp little baby teeth.
So yeah, it's really a mixed bag. Like, I've seen like people getting blowjobs and stuff in the back seat.
In the back,
yeah.
Like a taxi cab type of scenario, or these are just like, oh wait, we know what's going on back there.
Yeah, I think it was like a group of younger kids, and I was like, really, guys, come on.
Oh well, you can't fault them.
I think the funniest one was I had this regular customer who came through every day. He had a laptop in his passenger seat and was always watching porn. Always. Huh. And then, like, so I was just staring at the laptop the one time I was looking for change, and he looked at me, and he was like, can you see that? And I was like, yeah, I can see that. And he got, like, real red and, like, paid real quick, and I never saw him again.
Wow.
Like, I guess he just thought, like, from the angle or something that I didn't know that was going on. But I did.
And he just changed his whole commute.
Completely changed
like, all right, time to take the back roads from now on. I got totally busted at porn. Any other like, scenarios like weird people, strange, odd birds?
There's certain people on the midnight shift that it kind of really sucks because there's no cars to save me from people that want to just talk for like 45 minutes. Oh. Like, they'll sit in my lane and won't pick up on cues that, like, I don't want to talk for 45 minutes to you. And they'll wait until another car comes, and sometimes there is like a really long pause between cars, and they get like, the one guy was trying to get me to date his son.
Was the son present?
No. He was just describing him. He's like, yeah, he lives in my basement. He doesn't talk to anybody. He really needs friends. I think that you guys should date. And, like, he doesn't have a job. And I'm like...
You're really selling your kid,
Yeah, and I was like... It was, like, for half an hour. I'm just like, no. Like, I'm all right. But, like, he just wouldn't drop it and, like, wouldn't leave. And, like, now every time he comes through my lane, because he's, like, a pretty regular customer... I'm like, please let another car come up behind him, please. I mean, some are fun to talk to, honestly, as well. You know, I have a lot of regulars that I have, like, banter with, and, like, they know about my puppy and stuff. I actually really like a lot of my regulars.
Yeah, any particular, just cool people that come through? Keep you company? Somebody you look forward to seeing?
There's this one guy that works at Max and Irma's, and he always brings me cookies.
Nice.
From Max and Irma's. He's really nice. I like him. There's this girl that works at Starbucks that will give me, like, she'll bring me Starbucks drinks or, like, pastries or something else if she has them.
Sweet.
She's really nice. Yeah. I don't really know, like, I'm really bad with names, and it's, like, a thing that's, like, a problem for me, because I know they've told me their name. And I just don't remember it. And I feel horrible because now it's like, I've been talking to you every night for like 6 months.
Yeah, it's like, you're the cookie guy. Yeah. You're the Starbucks lady. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And in the way, like, how often do you do proper introductions in those type of scenarios? You just kind of know people.
Yeah. One of the things I hate that's going on right now in the summer is all the construction on the turnpike. Which would be fine, except for, I'd say there's like 15 dump trucks that have to like circle around almost every hour, so I get 15 loud dump trucks every hour, like kind of evenly dispersed, so that I get headaches like every day.
Oh, that sucks.
Because they're just so loud, and then they try to talk to me, but I can't really hear them over the trucks, so it's just awkward.
Oh yeah.
Like awkward talk.
Yeah, that's not good.
15 times every hour.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And you mentioned before about the fumes and everything like that. Does that bother you? Like, does that give you headaches and stuff like that?
Sometimes it's worse than others. If it's like a truck or something, if I'm able to like close the windows when they drive off, but like when they're sitting in my lane, like looking for money and stuff, the noise and the smell like coming into the window can really get to me sometimes.
Yeah, that stuff really bothers me.
I wonder what like long-term effects it's going to have on me.
Do they have any kind of protocol for something like that? I mean, I'm assuming you get some kind of health care through this job.
Oh, I have really good benefits actually.
So there's no incorporated with that. They don't associate like lung checkups or like some kind of just general health.
Yeah, they don't really. I think they kind of avoid it because they don't want to bring attention to it.
Yeah, probably smart on their part.
It's the same thing with like dodging traffic when we have to get to our booths. You know,
yeah, I didn't even think of that.
They kind of like put it all on us, like you have to wear your vest, and we're not gonna ask these people to, actually adhere to the speed limit of 5 miles an hour through this work zone. Like we try to come up with all kinds of like put speed bumps in the lanes, then they can't fly through at like 60 miles an hour like they do. And they're like, no, that's not a solution. And it's like, why not?
Are they saying it's not a solution because they don't want to provide speed bumps? Or are they saying it's not a solution because they want those easy pass people to just go and go?
I'm not really sure about that. I would honestly say, considering it's a state job, they just don't want to pay for speed bumps or anything.
That was my first thought.
And want to just like bank on us not getting hit, because like the price of putting speed bumps in every lane at every interchange is probably less than like the money they'd have to shell out for one person dying.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, all right. So, do you have any advice for someone on that grim note? Do you have any advice for someone who'd like to get into this type of work?
Really, they're trying to get rid of toll collection and make it all cashless tolling, but they're always going to have maintenance. They're always going to need clerks. Maintenance, you need to have a CDL to drive the trucks, like salt trucks and stuff, and then I think you like cut grass and stuff in the summer or fix potholes. They get paid the same as we do. They do not have this horrible schedule. Like they usually work 7 to 3 Monday through Friday.
Oh, okay.
Unless there's a snowstorm, then they get like a bunch of overtime to stay and
yeah, that must be
stuff.
One benefit of.
You need to have a CDL. The clerk positions are a joke. I think you have to pass a 20 word per minute typing test. You do want to have a letter of recommendation from someone. Political letters of recommendation would be good. That being said, it's like, like the mayor or someone on council or someone on the school board type of thing. Like if you did any kind of volunteer work, that would work.
We'll get you down the right path.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it. That and opportunity. You just kind of have to wait for these jobs to open up and really check the website.
So there's like a state website that just keeps track of. Okay, yeah.
At the bottom, I think there's a career section. That's where I went to apply.
Oh, okay.
So
well, that works. Now this applies to the job or generally anything you want. This just kind of wraps up this part of it. Mm-hmm. Is there something that you learned that you wish you'd learned earlier? Like something you know now that
for like this job in particular.
That or life. We're just kind of putting the pin at the end of the job portion of this.
Life. I really kind of at this job learned how to deal with people a lot better. I used to have a lot of social anxiety, and I think like all of the unusual occurrences and everything else like that I've had to deal with these customers has really like helped me get over a lot of that.
Good, and that's just from being in the field, like just time.
Mostly that, and honestly, like I got onto midnight as soon as I could, and because I'm alone, a lot of the other collectors start relying on the shift leader to deal with problems because like they can just call them out and they'll deal with it. But when I'm there alone, like this is me. This is like
You're
the only
there
option
problem solving.
Yeah.
Just...
I think it gave me a lot of confidence with being able to do that kind of stuff too. So.
All right, good. We'll move on to the fun stuff just to get into that. I used to do this as a speed round kind of thing, but the first time I did it, I feel like I glossed over so much more to talk about. So we're just gonna ask some random questions and just have fun with it. Whatever.
Right.
Okay. You have a go-to snack?
Sometimes. I mean, it's dill pickle sunflower seeds. I'm really into.
Oh, okay.
I think like I used to hate sunflower seeds too, but my coworkers always ate them, and I think it's like a little bit of like the monotony of the job and how boring it is. Like having a snack that you actually kind of have to work for.
Yeah.
Is like it's much better than like if you take anything else, like chips or something. Like you start to feel gross because you ate too many or you're all like greasy and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of us ended up eating sunflower seeds. Dill pickle is my favorite flavor.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you have a shoe preference?
I wear my Adidas or my Doc Martens. I'm supposed to wear like black shoes. The Doc Martens are not as great anymore in the winter because they don't have grip.
Oh, yeah.
So.
How long have you had those Doc Martens?
Well, the first time I ever bought them, I was 14, I think, and I just replaced them 4 years ago.
All right, yeah.
So, yeah.
That good Doc Marten shelf life.
They're worth the money because they last like 10 plus years.
Yeah. Yeah, they're fantastic shoes.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of soap do you use?
Soap. Actually, I bought a bunch of soap from my coworker's wife's sister makes soap.
Makes soap. All right.
Yeah, and they were like some really good smelling soaps. So I use those, or I'll sometimes use a body wash from Bath and Body Works.
Any specific type?
Scents?
Yeah, my stepmom works there. So.
Okay. Every time I start to really like one, they discontinue it, and then I get really sad.
Yeah.
I think the last one I had was like a honeysuckle one.
All right.
And then there's like white tea and ginger. I also like.
Nice.
I think that's also discontinued. So I'm basically gonna have to go back there and be like, all right, what can I like replace this with that I'm not gonna be 100% happy with? It happens every time.
Oh, that's rough.
I think at one point it's just gonna be like, wow, I hate this smell, but it's so close to like what it was last time at this point that.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do.
Yeah, it just dwindles down to nothing.
All right, back to food. Spicy, not spicy.
That will depend on my mood. I love spicy food, but also some days I can feel like I'm gonna have a heartburn day. So I'll avoid the spicy foods on a heartburn day because nothing's worse than spicy heartburn.
Yeah.
It burns for 2 reasons.
Alright. What movie do you think you've seen the most in your life? I used to say favorite movie, but it always trips people up because they want to be like, what movie represents me as a person?
Yeah.
But what have you seen the most?
It might be
Come on, buddy. Come on.
either Pan's Labyrinth or Stardust, probably.
Okay, good answers. I like that.
I didn't realize how much I liked Stardust until I noticed, like, I kept putting it on. I watched it, I was like, that was a good movie, that was cool. And then, like, 6 months later, I was like, I think I've watched that, like, 7 times already since then, like...
Yeah, no, I've done the same thing. It's just like, I don't want to think, I just want to see something I know I like.
Or, like, I'll put it on in the background while I'm doing something,
Yeah.
But, like, that started to be my go-to for that. And Pan's Labyrinth, I just love visually and the storyline and everything else, but you can't really watch that in the background because you have to read.
Yeah.
Which I like subtitles. I have no problem with that, but it's definitely not a like background movie, you know.
Well, I've had it on, I've had it in the background at bars,
Yeah.
and it does give a nice vibe. Like, even
Okay.
though you like, I mean, if you've seen it enough times, you get the beats of the movie.
Yeah.
So it is kind of nice to just have on. But again, yeah, not the best thing to have on in the background.
Well, at this point too, it's gotten to where I know what's going on and like what they're saying, even though like.
Yeah. All right, your favorite vegetable?
Favorite vegetable? I really like Brussels sprouts.
Man, come here.
And there's this Jack Eagle sells this Prince Edward medley, and it's like green beans and those yellow beans and then carrots. And it's actually what I was eating earlier today.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty delicious. I think I like blends more than just like a straight up vegetable on its own though.
I'd say that counts as a good answer.
Okay.
What's your biggest fear?
I don't know, probably death, honestly. Like,
No, fair answer. Fair answer.
I used to get, like, when I was first driving to work on the turnpike, because I had never really driven on a highway before with, like, big-ass trucks and everything, going that fast. Like, I just, like, always pictured, like, a car coming up over the median or something, and it really made me, like, think about death a lot. And I was just like, yeah, that's horrifying.
Yeah,
So.
I get that big time. That just vehicle fatalities, like
it could happen so easily.
I
And
just
it
know
does
so many
happen
dumb
so
people
easily.
that drive,
Oh,
like
God.
just the worst people. Like,
I see them coming like through my lane and like they like hit the curbs and like they'll like cut each other off to like get in front of each other, and it's like you drove on the road at like probably 80 miles an hour for however long. That's great.
Yeah, and
Can't
you're
wait to
legally
drive
allowed.
home.
Yeah, just go ahead,
Yeah.
take that killing machine and just drive around
And, like,
town.
they'll even come down my lane. I can see them because they like start hitting curbs and stuff, going like a good, like pretty fast, while looking for change. Like and we have to cross those lanes, so like we have to, like, are they actually looking at us? Can I go? Like, you know,
Yeah.
no, you probably shouldn't go if there's a car coming because they're probably looking for change instead of looking at where they're driving.
Yeah, I think that's my general policy. That if a car's coming towards me, I'm just going to pretend like there's nobody in it and just treat it like, all right. Do you have a cocktail that you're into?
I actually haven't been drinking a lot lately. I think the last time I got drunk was Christmas.
That's a good time to get drunk.
Yeah.
You have like something you're into? Something you were into?
I drink rum and Coke Zero a lot. I found I'm not crazy about Coke Zero in general, but my hangovers were like almost non-existent in comparison to drinking like sugary drinks.
All right. Never tried that, but that sounds all right. What was the last picture you took on your phone?
Let's find out. It was probably of Luna.
Yeah, that's your name. You. Hey. This again will add to the heavily edited portion of the podcast, but should have its own segment, something like this.
Yep, it was of Luna. Picture before Luna was of to send to my apartment complex because they hadn't cut the grass or the bushes in a very long time.
Oh wow, yeah,
And I
they
was
did
like,
not.
You need to handle this. So they showed up today to do that finally. So, but yeah, mostly just pictures of the puppy right now because they grow up like so quickly that
Yeah, you got to get those
if
puppy
you don't
pictures
take
in.
like a million pictures like in the first like 4 weeks, it's like, oh well, that's just gone forever now.
Yeah, I have a big ridiculous portrait of my dog as a puppy on the front of her cage.
Aw.
It's ridiculous. I'm an asshole for that, but I love it. All right, tipping custom. Do you have a general way that you like to tip, or any kind of?
Oh, like when I tip people,
Mm-hmm.
I'll usually do at least 20%. If they're exceptionally good, I'll go like I can go substantially higher. It depends on like how much money I have. Like, you know.
Yeah, I like that. I like the
at least 20%. If they're subpar, I'll usually do 20%. If they're like kind of mean, I'll probably do 15% or maybe 10%.
I'd say that's fair.
I almost never do nothing though.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. Last question, and you can take as much time as you want with this one.
Okay.
What type of music do you prefer and why?
And why? I'm really horrible at answering like any music questions. Like I know
That's why I've workshopped different versions of this question several
Yeah.
times, and this is the first time I'm trying this one out.
Well, like me specifically, I know a lot of people are really into music, and like you are, you know, you always find like awesome music and stuff. I get intimidated by finding new music. Like
Intimidated how?
like I have trouble finding new music that
Oh.
I actually enjoy, and I think because of that I avoid it a lot. Like I don't have a long commute, so I don't listen to music a lot that way. Like I might be able to listen to one or two songs. So I think I like some types of like electronica or like indie music I've been getting into lately. I like female singers. I know that.
Yeah, I prefer female singers for the most part.
And I think that's just a sound, like no like reasoning. Like I think females are whatever. You know?
Yeah, no, it's I don't know what you call it, but I've always steered more in that direction.
But beyond that, there are certain songs that like the lyrics I really relate to or something, so I like appreciate it for that. Other than that, I don't like guitar solos.
I can see that.
The only one I've ever really accepted was it's a Daft Punk song. Which one? I can't think of which Daft Punk song it is right now.
I'm sure everyone listening, if they like Daft Punk, knows what it is because it's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of a single track. But all right, so this is the real last question.
Okay.
What's the best advice you ever got?
I mean, that's a hard one to just come up with off the top of my head.
Yeah, that should be another one of those things that I give people a heads up.
Yeah.
Because my brother recommended that, and I was like, that's brilliant. I love it.
It
That's
is a
going to
good
really
one.
expound on something. But like, oh yeah, I'm putting someone on the spot to be like,
For that
hey, can you be profound like now?
Yeah. And like, there are certain, tips and advice that I've gotten that I've like put into practice, but like I can't really think of like how to word it. I might have to get back to you on that.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
we'll give this another shot without all the distractions.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. This was fun.
I do have to start getting ready for work though.
No, that's perfect timing.
No,
We got through everything.